Our final report is Vince Cerf, the Chairman of the Board of Trustees, who will give the Board of Trustees report.
Thank you, John. Good morning, everyone. I can barely read this. Can you actually read that? I'm going to look over here. So I have 3 slides. The first one has to do with our responsibilities as fiduciaries for the organization. That includes financial responsibility. So we did review and approve the move and the financials associated with it to new space. And you heard earlier that we think it's a better deal all the way around and somewhat less expensive per square foot. We also confirmed, as is our responsibility, elections to the board and to the advisory council. We adopted some changes for travel policies in order to clarify under what circumstances we would support travel for board members and for advisory council members. There is a benefit for the employees, which the board has to approve. 401k, for those of you who don't know, is a retirement plan, and we match some of the contributions that the employees make to that retirement plan. And we adopted, as you now know, and will intend to put into operation in July, a new fee schedule. And as you also heard, there may be some mechanisms for implementation that will avoid some of the abruptness of the change in high end, especially, of that schedule. So there'll be some discussion about that. We approved the draft budget for the coming year, and the officers of the board who were elected include myself as chair, Paul Anderson as vice chair, Tim Denton as secretary, Bill Sanderford as treasurer. And I want to alert you to the fact that Paul Anderson and I will switch hats on the 1st of July. I do not intend to run again for board membership, and so I thought this would, the 2 of us thought this would be a good transition plan where I will become the vice chairman on the 1st of July and Paul will be chairman, but that means that there will be a transition period when we are both present, so that's the plan. We adopted our standing rules for the way in which we conduct our business, and we authorized the treasurer to approve expenses beyond the fiscal year, and that's important because some of our activities take place beyond the fiscal year, but we have to make commitments for facilities and the like. So we pre-approve Nate's ability to make those commitments. And finally, we accepted the ARIN audit report. I'm the chairman of the audit committee, and I just want you to know that this is the cleanest audit I have ever seen in the 40 some odd years that I've served in one way or another on boards. So I want to give credit to John and the rest of the staff for the way in which they have conducted business. The auditors had absolutely no issues at all. There were no swaps of any kind. This is absolutely as clean as it could possibly be. So I think you should applaud the ARIN staff for operating that way. So we actually do some things in addition to meeting with each other. So we reviewed the election report, and we agreed with the recommendations that were made for that process. And then we appointed a bunch of people to various and sundry standing committees. So we have an audit, a finance, compensation, and board governance committee that's been populated. If you're interested, you can look on the website to see which members of the board are participating in those committees. We also approved the Network Operators Scholarship Representative, and that's John Curran, who has done that for a very long time. And Paul Anderson agreed to be the NRO Executive Committee Observer. That position is there to protect John as the CEO of ARIN, so that there is someone other than John who is seeing what's going on during the Executive Committee meetings, so that it's not just John's word against everybody else. We have Paul to observe what goes on as well. We accepted the nominating committee charter, and we appointed nominating committee members. ARIN Hughes is the chairman of the nominating committee. This year, I'm a member, and we have Dmitry Komanyuk, Carl James, Charles Duker, Aaron Sawchuk, and Nathan Newman as members of the NOMCOM. Something that I want to, since it came up earlier today, I want to remind you that we will be posting, the sort of characteristics and requirements that we would like to see in parties who are candidates for the advisory committee and for the board. But it would be super helpful if you would like to share your notions about what those characteristics should be, so that we incorporate that into instructions to the NOMCOM. So please feel free to send notes to me or ARIN Hughes on that point. Let's see, we also reviewed the Fellowship Selection Committee report and accepted the charter, and also appointed a committee. Chairman is Bill Sandiford from the board. The AC member is Tina Morris, and general members on that committee are Sean Kennedy and Paul Emmons. And this is another program which I am very pleased to support because I think that it's the most valuable way we have of bringing new people into our orbit and getting to know them and getting them to know us. We also have a mailing list acceptable use policy committee, which, so far as I know, in the history of ARIN may not have ever met. But we populated it in case there is a problem on the mailing list. So I chair that, and we have Amy Potter and Jim Dolan as the two other members. We reviewed some changes to the bylaws, mostly to deal with the change process itself, change of bylaws, and sent that to the community for consultation. So I hope you've taken some time to look into that. We looked at community feedback on bylaws consultation, and we adopted the ARIN policy development process and standards of behavior. This is the last slide. With regard to mission and services, we adopted changes to RPKI, the RPKI relying party agreement to make use easier as you suggested. We also accepted the ARIN Services Working Group Charter, which John has already mentioned to you, and we appointed committees last night, or I filled out the committee last night at the board meeting. With regard to number resource policy actions, these are things that you asked us to do, and we have the responsibility to confirm those actions. So we adopted 4 recommendations of policy changes to our operation on your behalf. And finally, with regard to the Internet Number Registry System and Internet Coordination, we discussed at length the IANA stewardship transition activities, which all of you know have taken an inordinately long period of time, despite the fact that our part as the Number Resources Organization was done timely in January, Bill, if I'm right, 2015. A year ago. Yeah, so
we were submitted January, sorry, go ahead.
So we did our job as members of the NRO, but the rest of the folks, especially on the domain name side, took rather longer. We also appointed initial community members to the IANA Numbers Services Review Committee, and that includes Louis Lee, Jason Schiller, and the RIR staff member, who's Nate Davis at ARIN. And finally, we approved ARIN's support of the CCWG proposal for the IANA stewardship transition. That is the element that took the extra year or so to get done. Why does this remind me of the story that says that for any project, especially involving software, the first 90% takes 90% of the time. The last 10% takes the other 90% of the time. So I think that's my last slide, so I will be happy to try to respond to questions. I see Kathy Aaron coming.
Hi, Kathy Aronson. This isn't a question. I just wanted to say that I know it's probably a lot of extra work for you guys on the board, but I really have enjoyed having you at lunch and at breakfast and not sequestered away in a room. So I just wanted to say I appreciate that. Thanks.
Kathy's a sweetheart. Thank you. If I had to choose somebody to hang out with at these meetings, Kathy would be one of my first choices. All right. Yes, amen. Any other questions?
Any other questions?
Everybody wants to go to open microphone, which is next.
Well, thank you, Vin, for your
All right,
presentation.
thank you.